In this series of videos, we will read the Care Certificate workbooks, both what you need to know and what do you know now. This video covers Standard 3, Duty of Care, what do you know now? And it's over to my colleague to read through this workbook.
The Care Certificate, Duty of Care, what do you now know? Standard 3, the Care Certificate Workbook. Activity 3.1a. As a social care or health worker, you have a duty of care to all people you support. Use the following words to define what is meant by duty of care. Define. Provide a definition in your own words. So in this box below, what is your definition and your understanding of these words? Responsibility, safety, obligation, and well-being. And if you use an example, think about ones where it's relatable to work. Thinking about your own work role, complete the sentences below to describe how the duty of care affects you in your practice. The first is to create a picture of words, but not simply writing a list of bullet points. My job description states that I have certain responsibilities to the individual I provide care and support to, and to my colleagues. This includes working safely and with the interests and wishes of the individual at heart. So now what it's asking you to do is thinking about your own work role. The code of conduct means that the organisational policies and procedures are there too. I must report unsafe or abusive practices because. Activity 3.2a. There will be times when your duty to safeguard the well-being of the individual is in conflict with your duty to promote the individual's right to take risks. It is your duty to ensure an individual is kept safe and does not experience harm, but these situations may cause you in a dilemma, and you may not know the right thing to do to keep them safe, at the same time as enabling them to make their own choices. Think of two dilemmas that may arise in your work and describe these in the space below. Describe. To describe means to create a picture with words, but not simply writing a list of bullet points. In the previous workbook, in the What You Need to Know, it gave the examples of people who were able to make decisions of what to eat, but they might opt to eat a more fatty diet. So that could be one of the examples of the dilemma that you use. If you haven't started your workplace as well at the hands-on and you're doing part of your induction still and maybe in the office, this might be something that you need to wait to until you're out in your place of work. For the two dilemmas that you've described above in 3.2a, complete the table below to explain in your role for each dilemma and where you would get additional support and advice to help you resolve the dilemma. Explain. To explain something, you will need to provide a clear account of your understanding, including details like how and why. So let's have a look in the table below. So dilemma 1. What must you do within your role? What must you not do within your role? Where would you get additional support and advice to resolve the dilemma and why? Activity 3.3b. For each of these three examples below, describe who you would ask for advice and support in handling comments, concerns, and complaints, and compliments. Activity 3.3b. For each of the three examples below, describe who you would ask for advice and support in handling comments, concerns, and compliments. Describe. To describe means to create a picture with words, but not simply writing a list of bullet points. A number of individuals you are supporting believe that someone has been tampering with their medical records. You have read the complaints procedure, but you'd like action. An individual you support has told you they wish to make a complaint about the food served at mealtimes. So in these boxes, what they're looking for is to describe who you would ask for help and advice within these scenarios. Activity 3.3c. It is essential to learn from comments and complaints when providing care services. Explain the importance of learning from comments, concerns, and compliments in order to improve the quality of service that you provide. Explain. To explain something, you need to provide a clear account of your understanding, including details like why and how. So think of an example and then pop it in this box here. And what it's wanting to do is explain those and how it is, why it is important about learning from these concerns, complaints, comments, compliments, about how it can improve and maybe even include what would happen if you didn't take any action and who would that affect. Activity 3.4a and b. You have a duty of care to respond to events and incidents in an appropriate and agreed way. To show your understanding, complete the table below to describe how you would recognise adverse events, incidents, errors and near misses or scenarios, and explain what you must do and not do in relation to each. Describe. To describe means to create a picture with words, but not simply writing a list of bullet points. Explain. To explain something, you will need to provide a clear account of your understanding, including details like why and how. So let's have a look at the table. An investigation started after a number of patients died unexpectedly in care. Example is an example of an adverse event, incident, error, or near miss. Describe how incident or error or near miss. Explain what you must do and not do in relation to each example. You report them with their shopping to find that a colleague has already arrived to undertake the task. Activity 3.4a and additional scenarios. The same questions apply here, and these are different scenarios. Was given peanut butter sandwich by mistake. You notice this just in time to change the sandwich. An individual in the bathroom area slips on a wet floor. When investigating, you notice that a wet floor sign has not been used. Activity 3.4c. Thinking about the four scenarios in 3.4a and b, list the legislation and agreed ways of working that need to be taken into account near misses. List. This term means to identify the main points which can be written as bullet points. So this question here is involving 3.4a and b. So this is involving the lists. And consider about the legislation and agreed ways of working that would need to be taken into account. And that's where you jot these down here. You can go back to the previous booklet and video, which is the what you need to know, which has got the list of legislations in there. Activity 3.5a. Fill in the spider diagram below to list the factors and difficult situations that may cause confrontation. One example has been provided for you. List can be written as bullet points. An individual with dementia may feel misunderstood, frustrated and confused. Factors and difficult situations may cause confrontation include. Consider what examples you can put in these four boxes within your place of work. Activity 3.5b, c and e. Thinking about the factors and difficult situations that may cause confrontation, select one that relates to your own role and answer the questions below. What is the factor or difficult situation that may cause confrontation? How could communication be used to solve problems and reduce the likelihood or impact of confrontation? How would you assess and reduce the risks in this situation? What are the agreed ways of working about reporting confrontation in your service?
Well done on completing the What You Need to Know booklet. We have the next standard in this playlist to support your learning through the full 15 standards.